Thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I decided to build another mansion and I built this one in Windenburg. The theme is old money, so this is supposed to be a beautiful mansion for a family who's coming from old money. It's very luxurious and I tried to make it very stylish but also very classy because it's all about old money. It's not about like being flashy and just showing off wealth. It's like a mansion which is supposed to be in the family for maybe multiple generations. The furniture is supposed to look very old and antique and very stylish. So yeah, let's jump right in and see how I built this. So this is the area right in front of the house, and this is supposed to be the eye catcher. This is where you enter the mansion, so you step on the stairs in the front and then there will be this beautiful fountain in the center, and right behind it is the door which is leading into the mansion. Building this here was very tedious, as you can already see. I was changing so many things. At first this area was square. I then wanted this to be more rectangular so there would be enough space for the fountain in the center, so I was moving around stuff a lot. I've used lots of packs for this, but also life and death, and I feel like I put a focus on life and death, especially when it came to debug. I know I've created so many builds with this pack already and I'm kind of over it in terms of wanting to create other stuff, so I kind of want to move on. I mean, you know that this pack holds a very special place in my heart, especially because I was allowed to build for the pack, but I just want to create other stuff now, so it's not just life and death on this channel, but I still wanted to use some debug items from the pack, and I've used a lot of the furniture from the pack. I feel like I still cannot really let go probably, but yeah, this does not have a life and death theme. It's about old money, about a beautiful luxurious mansion. And you can here see how I'm combining different debug items, and I decided to use a round base game rug to have a guideline. You know I love to do this, and I'm using the little cube from the Desert Lux kit to fill in the area. And this was really tedious because as soon as you get too close to the platform, it's kind of jumping up, so you really want to find the sweet spot for this. And because of the gap, I decided to also place cubes on the level above, right on top of the platform. There's like a little gap when you like pan the camera down and look, but it's not really that visible. So at this point I was pretty pleased with the whole look of this area, and I then just repeated the same steps on the other side to make it complete. I decided to go with this floor color to like have a bit of warmth and a bit of color here and there. I always use all these neutral colors and sometimes it's too boring, so I just tried to keep it neutral so it looks like a realistic old money mansion, but I still wanted to have this warmth and it looks much more inviting this way. And I have a confession to make. Like, I built two houses right behind this beautiful front yard, I guess you could say, because I was done building this and I then started to work on the house, and I was almost done, or I was pretty much done, like with the exterior, and I just didn't like the look of it. Like, it just didn't feel balanced and I couldn't really put my finger on it. I was honestly staring at this for 2 hours trying to move stuff around and it wouldn't work. And I then like got rid of the complete house, deleted the files, like the video files where I was recording the mansion, and I then like went back to this point here where I was like pretty much done with the front yard, and I then built another house right behind it, and I'm really happy with the end result. But even when it comes to the end result, I made so many changes. You will see that there's like some type of tower at the very top, and I decided to just get rid of it. Again, it didn't look balanced. Here you can see that I'm working on the entrance area, and you can see that it's like 2 stories high. This is why there are 2 stacks of pillars like on top of each other, and this was kind of the main culprit when it came to the first iteration of this house. And I like figured this out here at this point, because when you see the height of the entrance area compared to this very grand front yard, like it just makes sense. Now just imagine if the ceiling would be right where you can see the little trim at the bottom, right on top of the first pillar. It just looked too small, not grand enough, and this was kind of the main culprit, but I just started over, so this is like the second version of this build, and I hope that you like it. And here I'm just connecting the patio with the front yard, and I decided to use lots of platforms for this. So we have regular stairs in the center, and then we have symmetrical platforms on the left and right, and these are functional. Your Sims can't reverse, you just have to make sure that the height difference is like not too high. And I just decided to connect everything this way, and because I have these two little holes right in between the platforms and the main entrance, this is just perfect to have a nice flower bed, to place trees or flowers. I love when this happens. It's just perfect to like naturally include lots of beautiful landscaping. And also, I want to say thank you so much for all your feedback below my community post regarding tutorials, because I'm working on a tutorial series and I wanted to get your feedback, and I wanted to know what is something that you would like to see. And if you're watching this video, you can comment below and let me know what you want to see in a tutorial series. You can also head over to the community section on YouTube and find the post and comment there. It doesn't matter. But if you still want to like give me feedback, if you have any wishes for a tutorial for something that you would like to see, it can be beginner friendly, very advanced, anything. I want to have like a nice mix of things. You can like leave a comment and give me some feedback. There's still time to let me know what you want to see, and I'm very excited to like get all the feedback from you and hearing what you want to see. And yeah, here you can pretty much see the tower in the center. So there's an additional level at the very top, and here at this point you can already see that the shape is kind of not making sense, and it was so hard to figure this out. I was so close to completely demolish the whole thing and build something else, but I thought, okay, I love the front yard so much and it's looking so cute. It would be like so sad to like completely got rid of it. So I decided to change it and to make this video and to publish the build and to show it to you. And I hope it was the right decision. I don't know. Sometimes there are builds which confuse me. I've talked about this in a recent video where I was asking you how you approach a build and if you like make changes or if you start over. And this one here was a very difficult decision. And here I'm already landscaping a bit. I think there's rarely a mansion without this base game hedge. It's such a cool item. It can be rotated freely. You can create all kinds of different shapes using this hedge. I love it so much. And whenever I'm working on a mansion and I just want to add more detail, I really like to use this hedge, and I just use it next to fences, just anywhere. Sometimes it's all about adding details for me, just the way I like to use shelves to add a custom trim to a house. And here I'm adding some flowers. These are from high school years. They can be found in debug, and the identical ones in a hot pink color are part of Life and Death, and they can also be found in debug for Life and Death. And I'm so obsessed with this because we have this beautiful pastel purple color here, and then in Life and Death it's hot pink, and I love this. Like, you know that I love to create like these Barbie builds, and I love purple, I love pink, and I'm just really happy that we got these beautiful flowers in debug. And here I'm adding like a square kind of on both sides. I just decided to use a round foundation piece or floor piece. It's the same, and you can just place it and you attach a fence to it, and that's what I did. I think I've used the one from Jungle Adventure here, so I just wanted to have a fence which is not too tall, and then I was just adding so many hedges around it. And here I wanted to use the new glass roofs from Life and Death, and this color here, this swatch, will be in the final version, like the one that you saw first, the dark brown one. I then wanted to use the white swatch, but it didn't look right. Like when I zoomed out, as I said, I made so many changes. Something was just bothering me when it came to the white roof swatch. It just didn't look, I don't know, it wasn't popping. You can really tell what was going on. And as soon as I changed the color to the dark brown color, you could really tell, okay, there's a glass roof and it was really popping and it was looking so much better. And initially I wanted this to be like some type of greenhouse, which also makes sense for a build like this. I feel like when I think of castles and old mansions, like you have these beautiful greenhouses, there are like small palm trees on the inside, or in the big ones for a castle there would be a big palm tree even. But here in this case I decided to turn this into a dining room. So maybe this was like something that was changed during a renovation. So this house has been in the Sims family for generations, and maybe this used to be a greenhouse, but then they turned it into a functional dining room, and it's very sun flooded. The light is coming in. I don't know. This is kind of the story in the back of my head. I don't know if it makes sense. So this will be a dining room, and I added a lot of fences from debug, and they come in a curved shape, as you can see, and you can align them in a way so you have these little pillars in the center and you can create such a nice beautiful fence. I then added this area to have a garage because I just wanted to add some debug cars. After all, this is about old money and these people have lots of it, so I wanted to include some fancy cars from debug. Of course not functional, but I love to do this because it adds so much to a build. And a build can tell a story, and because this house is a mansion for rich Sims, having some fancy cars in the front yard makes sense, even though it's not functional. And I feel like it's just a nice decoration, and I also still hope that we will get cars one day in The Sims 4, and I don't care that we don't have an open world. Of course it would be cool to have an open world, but when it comes to cars, I don't care about the open world. I don't think that cars have to be dependent on an open world, because the Sims could still like get into the car and then, I don't know, they kind of fade away and spawn in the new neighborhood, for example. Or maybe Sims could repair the cars and they could gain like a repair skill level and all that. So I think it would be cool. But I don't know, let me know what you think. I still want to have some cars in this game. Also, the debug cars look pretty cool, but they're not as detailed as some proper cars would be probably. And I wish we could have like a variety, like a family van, some really fancy sports cars, and like different things, some everyday cars. And I just want to have different cars. Give me a car pack, please. And here I'm adding more purple flowers, and at this point I noticed that I have such a big open space in the front, but I thought, okay, it's fine. I'm going to add some floor to this area, but like back then I always used every inch of a lot to really build a house, and that's not really realistic. You want to have some space around it, to have a proper front yard, a backyard. I mean, nothing wrong with that. There are builds where I still like use every inch of a lot to build a house, and that's fine. But like sometimes when I'm working on these family mansions, I've started to think, okay, like tone it down a bit, use some of the space for a nice front yard, a driveway, have a backyard. So I like that it turned out this way here. And here I'm building a pool, and this is still like one of the most mind-blowing facts, that you can like simply remove a part of a platform and then you build your pool in the center and you add a pool ladder and it's functional, because you cannot build a pool on top of a platform and your Sims cannot get in when you do it this way, but when you add a pool ladder it works. And it totally makes sense that it does, but I felt like just simply building the pool ladder on top of the platform wouldn't work. But then, like, I don't know, probably over a year ago, one of you were commenting about this, and I thought, oh my gosh, and ever since this comment I'm like doing it this way. So thank you so much. I sadly don't remember who it was, but this has been like so game changing for me. I really love to like build a good pool inside a platform. And here I'm decorating a lot. I've used like more hedges, bushes, and just like some small things just to like really make this perfect. And here I'm already furnishing, and I had already laid out the floor plan here, and I had already added all the stairs. And I think initially the stairs were supposed to be in this corner that I'm about to furnish, where I'm placing a fireplace and everything, and the stairs got deleted. And then I was almost done here, and like I will furnish the kitchen and everything, and then I will notice that there are no stairs leading up to the floor above. And initially they were supposed to be here, but I found a different spot. And again, for the inside I was also going for old money, so I wanted this to be very tasteful. It's not very loud or colorful. It's like really tasteful. It's not too over the top. I mean, it is over the top. I think I can't build anything that's not, probably, but I really try to make it like very tasteful, and I try to like keep it a bit realistic. I don't know how well I did, but I had so much fun finishing this. This is what I can tell you. The floor plan was really unique, and I really love to lean into this very classy style, and it went so well with all the life and death items. This wallpaper, for example, the bookshelves. It just makes sense to like build this type of style using the pack. I had so much fun, and I always used a lot of green and red, as you will see. So this is really neutral and not as colorful, but I wanted to have like a really slight classy pop of color here and there. So I've decided to use this green for the sofa. I'm also going to have some red curtains and different things. So I really try to like keep it classy and beautiful. I've used lots of candles, and it was just so much fun finishing this. And I'm kind of known for building gigantic kitchens with lots of cabinets, which are too high up, but let me tell you, this kitchen, it might be a new record for me, a new low or new high, depending on how you like, how you're thinking about my kitchens. But this is gigantic. Like, I think I went overboard here, and I'm sorry, but the floor plan just kind of developed this way, and I thought, okay, I want to have this luxurious kitchen. It's gigantic. You will be able to add so many appliances to this. Like if you should use this, you have a lot of space. It doesn't matter if you want to have a coffee, tea, there's space for anything here. And I like not only added this round island counter, but I added even more on the left side, and I will add a window there. This build is so over the top, but I mean, after all, it's old money and it's gigantic. I don't know what to tell you, but I have a hard time holding myself back when I'm working on these kitchens, and this kitchen is no exception. But at least it's like, no Sims will get stuck. There's a lot of space, even if you would have a party here. This is like, routing is not an issue here, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty over the top. And I added this small table. The table itself is from Life and Death. This is kind of like the breakfast nook. So you could sit down at the island counter or this table, and you could grab something to eat. And then there will be the big proper dining room inside the greenhouse. And yeah, I think it's just so luxurious. Before furnishing this, I was really thinking about old money interiors and how to do this, and I ended up using the checkered floor, which is such a classic, and I think I haven't used it in the longest time, but it just makes so much sense to use it for a kitchen or a beautiful hallway, like a really grand entrance area. And I felt like that this floor would make so much sense for the bathrooms. I've chosen this floor and wallpaper combination. I'm going to use this one for all bathrooms. I only included this bathroom in the recording so you get an idea, but it's like pretty much the same. They look very similar, and I just don't like to include lots of bathrooms in a video. And here I'm about to work on the beautiful dining area. So here you can see that there are like these beautiful windows going all around it. The windows are from the Greenhouse Haven kit. I was kind of torn if I should use the Greenhouse Haven kit windows or the ones we got in Life and Death, but I just wanted to have like a slight modern twist, and I decided to use these ones. I love the Greenhouse Haven kit because of the windows. I think it's such a cool concept in general, but these windows like make me so happy. I also finally ended up using the bar from Life and Death. I think I didn't really use it inside an interior in my builds yet because there wasn't enough space, but here it just made sense. I ended up using these curtains from Get Famous because they are just perfect when you have like a gigantic window facade. And yeah, here I'm working on a bedroom. This is kind of the main bedroom, I guess, and I've used a combination of the curtains from Life and Death and some base game ones because I wanted to fill the space at the top. Placing windows and finding matching curtains always confuses me, one of the most difficult things in this game for me, and I just ended up doing it this way. And I also placed them on these really high up windows. Sometimes when I'm like going overboard with the exterior, it's always there's always the question, how does it look on the inside? How can I make it work? Which which changes can I make so it makes sense both on the inside and outside, and that's always difficult. And I mean, we've all been there, like building something and you work on the interior first and you move around windows, and then from the outside it's looking really weird. We've all been there, and this is like always super difficult. For me, it's like the other way around. I'm working on the exterior first, so I have to figure out if it makes sense on the interior, and sometimes it doesn't, and then finding the matching curtains is like really difficult. And yeah, this is another bedroom. I've used this beautiful white wallpaper from Life and Death, and I wanted this to be very classy again. I've decided to have a nice contrast, so I was using lots of dark furniture, and I think it makes sense to have this contrast, and it looks very luxurious. And there are like so many bedrooms. They aren't even inside the speed build, like I didn't include all of them, but you can grab this from the gallery and you can check out this build yourself if you would like to. And yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments how you've enjoyed this video, how do you like the build, and if you have any build requests or anything you would like to see, you can like comment below what you want to see. And as I've said, please let me know what you want to see in my tutorial series. I'm so happy to hear your feedback. And yeah, this is it. I've included so many screenshots here. Thank you so much for watching. You can grab this from the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald. I hope you are doing so well. I love you all so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.